Our last reconstruction tonight is a particularly sad case. 32-year-old Glenda Potter was a lonely woman who'd been divorced, separated from her children, and had finally turned to drink, drugs and prostitution. She just managed to get by on money she earned on the streets of Rochester and Chatham in Kent. On Tuesday the 14th of May, she was found murdered. And our reconstruction begins on the morning of that day in Rochester in Kent. Here, behind the Vines United Reformed Church, is a regular meeting place for local schoolboys. At 8:20, just before school started, 3 boys were smoking very near the spot where Glenda's body was to be found 4 hours later. A gardener started working in the grounds nearby at 9:30 and saw nothing suspicious all morning. So police believe it was in that hour between 8:30 and 9:30, before the gardener arrived, that Glenda's body was dumped. Glenda was well known in Chatham, where she'd lived all her life. For the past few months, she'd lived in part of the town known locally as Bedsitland. On Friday the 10th of May, a friend called round.
So normal. Please welcome James Herbert.
So look, you got any plans for the weekend?
What do you think? Of course not. Want a cup of tea?
No, thanks. Look, I'm going down to Cornwall for the weekend.
Cornwall? Lucky you.
Would you want to come?
Well, have you booked in a hotel or something?
No, I'm taking a tent and going camping.
But Glenda didn't go away for the weekend, and that night she was seen in one of her regular haunts, the King's Arms in Rochester.
I was in here having a drink with my brother George, and Glenda came in.
Hi, friend girl. Can I catch a drink off you? Just half a lager.
Oh, Glenda, you get on my bloody nerves. You're always on the ponds. Honest to God.
I'll have some money tomorrow. Hi, girl. Go on, love.
Oh, put that away, for God's sake. JJ, can she have half a lager, please? Make sure when you have this that you behave yourself, otherwise they'll throw you out.
Cheers, friend. I'm a good girl now.
All right. She was a bit of a loner, Glenda. She didn't make friends easily, but I think she didn't want to anywhere. She liked to be by herself. She could be a little bit of a pest when she was in the pub, but that was just Glenda. She was a sad person, and all the time she was chatting to us, there was this guy stood over in the corner, and he seemed to be paying a lot of attention to Glenda. I did notice he was left-handed, and he had a wedding ring on.
Yeah, well, I'm off then. See you, George. See you, friend girl.
This guy left at the same time as what she did, which just seemed a bit odd to me.
During the rest of that weekend, Glenda was seen soliciting in her usual places along Rochester High Street. On Saturday night, a taxi driver saw her at the railway station.
I was parked in Rochester Station forecourt, and I saw Glenda standing on the corner when I noticed a car turned behind me, drove back out towards the high street and stopped opposite where Glenda was standing. Well, that time my passenger was on board, and I followed the car up the road and had to stop virtually beside him to drive round him. I looked into the car and saw the driver virtually full face.
The description of the driver is very similar to the grey-haired man in the pub the night before. Then, just after 10 o'clock, Glenda was back on the streets again on the corner of Rochester High Street and Gundolph Road outside St Bartholomew's Chapel.
Glenda?
During the weekend, several neighbours called at Glenda's bedsit because the television had been on continuously. There was no answer. So who did she spend those nights with? Sunday, the 12th of May.
Hi, Glenda.
Hi.
Haven't seen you lately.
Oh, well, I've been busy, you know. Anyway, when are you going to come round and see me?
Oh, when I got the time.
OK, well, call round any time. I've got to go now. See ya.
This was the last time Glenda was seen alive. Again, that Sunday night, she didn't return to her bedsit. But by now, police believe Glenda was dead. 2 days after that, a church helper found Glenda's body in the grounds of the United Reformed Church. Well, Mr. Ayling, there are several mysteries in this case. The first one, working backwards, is how Glenda's body came to be in the churchyard. Why are you so sure that it was put there sometime between 8:30 and 9:30 on that Tuesday, the 14th of May?
Well, the three schoolboys left their smoking corner at about 8:30. They didn't see Glenda's body. At 9:30, a gardener started work. So that leaves the 1 hour when we believe that Glenda's body may have been taken there. However, the schoolboys may have been mistaken, in which case Glenda's body could have been put there much earlier.
So you have to keep something of an open mind on that.
Yes.
The next mystery concerns two incidents in the area of that churchyard on the day before Glenda's body was found. That's Monday the 13th of May. What was the first incident?
Yes, at about 4:15 p.m, a schoolboy went to the rear of the church. He was looking for his friends. He didn't see them, but he did see a person's leg.
So that's somebody just sitting in the recess there.
Yes, apparently so. He describes the leg to us as having a white training shoe with a black pattern on it, and also a white sock with a coloured band at the top of it. We don't believe this was Glenda's leg, as she was wearing white socks with black ankle boots.
So you're sure that that wasn't Glenda sitting there. The second incident was about 2 hours after that, and that was in the car park adjoining the church.
Yes, here a man returning to his home after a day out saw two people at about 6:30 p.m. It was a man and a woman. They were stood each side of a wall. The man is described as having sandy hair, the woman short with dark hair. We would like to know who those people were so that we can eliminate them from our inquiry.
Right. The other person that's very important for you to eliminate from your inquiry is the grey-haired man who was seen with Glenda on the Friday night. Well, he wasn't with her, but he was seen with her in the pub on the Friday night, and then with her perhaps on later.
Yes, he's described as being aged about 60 years, 6 feet tall, having grey hair and balding. He was described of smart appearance, wearing a jacket, a collar and a tie. Again, we would like to trace this man, to eliminate him from our inquiries. We can assure him and any other person absolute confidence if they do contact us.
Because he was probably seen with her by a taxi driver on Saturday night, or certainly at Rochester railway station.
Yes, he was seen at Rochester railway station by the taxi driver on either Friday or the Saturday night. We can't be sure which it was. He was driving a red estate car, G or H registered. It could have been a Volvo.
The final mystery is why Glenda would have her television and lights on all over the weekend and yet go away for the nights.
Yes, we don't believe that she went home Friday or Saturday night. We would very much like to know where she was on those 2 nights.
Have you any idea why Glenda was killed?
Well, we don't believe that robbery was a motive. Glenda was a prostitute, and of course that made her vulnerable. She was also a drug abuser. That too made her vulnerable. Beyond that, we don't know why Glenda was killed.
Well, Mr. Ayling, thank you very much. I'll just emphasise that we and Mr. Ayling's colleagues can promise you absolute discretion if you can help with any information about where or how Glenda spent that last weekend of her life. Remember, she was last seen on Sunday, the 12th of May. You can ring us here in the studio on 081 811 8181, or the number to the incident room in Rochester is 0634 830 205. That's 0634 830 205.